Alright guys and girls, I'm Obsidian and welcome to this sponsored live stream for Starpoint Gemini 3. So this is, well, it's a brand new space game, open world space game at that, and it's literally just going into early access. You can find it over on the Steam page if you're not actually already on Steam, and that is linked below if you're on YouTube, and also over on Twitter, or Twitch rather. So, hope everyone's doing alright. Nice to see everyone here. We're going to have a bit of a playthrough on here today. We're going to look at, well, a bunch of different things. There's two modes to the game. There's a free roam mode and a campaign story driven mode. We're going to have a bit of a look at both of these. We're going to drop into the free roam mode for the first few minutes. Just have a look, maybe 5-10 minutes there, just so you can get a feel for what the game's about, what the ships are like, what the mechanics are like, and how things work in general. Then we'll hop into the story and do 30-40 minutes there or so, and then go back into free roam again and have a slightly longer look this time. So hopefully that will give you a good look at what it's all about. So yes, it's a new game, Commander Dragonhearth. It's called Starpoint Gemini 3. A sequel obviously to the other games, but very, very different to the previous games. And one thing I do want to make very clear is that this is of course early access. It's well, very early in development. There's still a lot of work to be done on it, so whilst I've been playing this for quite a while and it seemed to be bug free, I haven't had any major issues with it, there are some features that are still being worked on and won't be arriving for a little while yet. And I will talk about the roadmap a little bit further into the video. I've gone through some of that with the developers and they've got a very good plan for the game, a lot of things that they're going to add over the coming months. And yeah, let's get going, I think. So I'm actually in the free roam area. Let's have a look here. So this is one of the systems. I believe I'm in the Gemini system here, although this may be Sirius. There's 3 systems in the game currently. Well, 2 of them I can actually access in free roam. We can see the exterior of the ship here. Let's whip over and get a bit of a view of what the ship actually looks like. Now the ships are modular. Rather than replacing ships or buying different ships outright, you change components of the ships, and this will completely change what the ship actually looks like. And I've got an image which will show you some of the variants of the ships that will be possible in this game. We'll have a look at that in just a bit. Commander Dragonhearth is PC only at the moment. I do believe that there is going to be an Xbox version at some point. PlayStation version maybe. It's currently unknown. Yeah, modular ships, and we can also see right inside the cockpit here we can fly internally, which is a really nice touch because some of the older games, or older space games, especially the previous Starpoint Gemini games, didn't allow you to do this. So unlike the previous games, this isn't about flying capital ships. Here you get to fly fighters, so somewhat smaller than capital ships, not little tiny fighters by the way. They're reasonable size, but certainly not capital ships, so it does give a slightly different feel for the game. And of course, Commander Machine, yes, nice to see you there. Yes, this does have a story mode, which we'll be having a look at in just a bit, but I do want to give everyone a bit of a feel for what the game is like in the areas here, or just in free roam, just before we dive into the free play, because obviously in the story campaign it gives you some tutorial elements and it takes a while for you to get a good feel for what the game is actually like, so I'd rather show you that right up front. Right, so we've got some waypoints here we can select with the middle mouse button. We've got a couple of weapons here. We've got a nice fire of laser there. A couple of weapons actually I've upgraded the ship a bit. We can put a shotgun here, or kind of like almost like a Gatling gun. It fires up, speeds up the more you use it. We've got some missiles equipped as well. In fact, what I'm going to do is dock here at the station and show you the outfitting. Let's have a look at the kind of the essentials first, so we know exactly what we got going on here. Right, so here we are inside one of the stations here, Tortuga Bay. We can go to the trader, we can have a look at the dry dock. I think we should go to the trader actually. I'm running quite low on funds here, at 2,037 credits. WB Hoki, can we strafe the ship? Yes we can. We've got lateral and vertical movement, so we've got the full amount of motion here for the ship, which is nice for a space game. Rebel Galaxy Outlaw, great game, but unfortunately it didn't have lateral and vertical thrust, so it gave a little bit of a different feel for what spaceships flying is actually like, whereas here we do have lateral thrust and vertical thrust. Not super fast lateral thrust, but it does work, it is in there. And we also have the ability to cut engines, which you saw me very briefly demonstrating outside. Does it have VR support? Not at the moment, Sergio. So, Tiny Kel, talking about early access and the story mode. So, yeah, the story mode isn't fully finished yet. That will be developing further as early access carries on. Yes, there is a first-person mode in the cockpit, Deadpool. We just had a look at that briefly. Let's have a look at some of the areas in the station here. So we've got a trader. These are some of the bits I've got on my ships. We can, of course, sell these or buy new weapons. I don't really want to change these because I've upgraded some of these a bit. The Torque 2 is quite a good Gatling cannon. We've got some missiles here. We've got the Armageddon missile, which I purchased at another station. Very powerful dumbfire type missile. I think it's dumbfire. Oh no, it's a torpedo, but it does a lot of damage. A lot of hull damage and a lot of shield damage, as you can see. And these missiles are kind of dumbfire, so you do need to be quite close with them. But we can't buy any of these. And we've also got some equipment which are empty at the moment, and some components which I have picked up from shooting various pirates out there in space. And we'll have a look at that in just a moment. Now, at the moment, we can't do much with these aside from make quite a good amount of credits. They're a good way of earning money. Eventually, what will happen is in further development of the game, one of the later phases, and again, we'll have a look at the roadmap slightly further into the video, but we're about to use these components for crafting. So crafting will be a thing. It's not just yet, but it will be later. And I'm actually going to sell all of these, get ourselves a little bit of money, and we can see if maybe we can upgrade one of the other modules, or at least if not yet, then a little bit later on. Let's sell the torpedo chassis as well. We've got some products again. Now again, all of these have dropped as loot. These are all loot drops. I've been playing a while on this particular save, and I didn't want to sell anything just yet. I thought I'd save that for the live stream so that you guys could all see what was going on, see what it's about, see how we can make some money. Obviously, this is a good amount of credits already because I've been stocking up on the stuff here. GDS Gaming, we'll have a look at the cockpit in just a moment, don't worry. So the Armageddon missile there, I did show you that here. Someone's mentioning the amount of hull damage it does. This is quite a high-end weapon. I don't think normally you'd find this early on. I've just kind of come across it, and you do need quite a good amount of credits to actually buy it. HOTAS support. Kick-ass, yes, there is HOTAS support. There's also gamepad support, and I'm playing on mouse and keyboard here. States of Vaporia. Blade Runner type influenced soundtrack. I do believe that's the intent. Alright, we're going to sell all the inventory here as well. So very quickly go through this, and we're up to 50,000 credits. Let's head back. We can look at the dry dock. We'll have a closer look at this in just a bit. But this gives you an idea of different hulls that we can have for the ship. So like I say, you can't outright purchase different ships, but you can basically change the total look of your ship. So if I were to change the hull here and go for the Vex, it would look like this. Obviously not glowy orange. We've got the Polar on at the moment. I did upgrade that, and we can go through other different bits of upgrades. And again, we come back to this further into the live stream when we have another look at free roam in just a bit, as we'll have a look at the bar as well. And for now, we're going to undock and go and fly somewhere. Here we go. We got the cockpit view, which someone was actually talking about. But what I'm going to do is jump to a different system. Have a look here at the star chart. Then you might have noticed we've got a skills menu there as well. We'll have a look at that further in as well. There's plenty to look at. All of these, as you see the little triangles around here, these are kind of asteroid clumps. And as we fly over to those, you'll see plenty of asteroids floating around. Some of them large, some of them small. Some of them you can actually destroy. Now, they don't actually drop anything yet, but there will be mining later, as there's plenty planned, as I said. So eventually you'll be able to go out and mine the asteroids by essentially, I believe, destroying them. Maybe there'll be proper mining equipment later on, I don't know, but I do know that at the moment you can destroy them via shooting at them. So we've got some different things here that we can right click on these and set waypoints. In fact, you can set a waypoint anywhere on the map. You right click the waypoint again, it will deselect it. So for example, we could head over to this waypoint here. I don't know what's going to be there because I haven't had a look yet, but why not have a look? That's what this is all about. So we got the station I've just come from and the waypoint over there, 31,000 units away. I don't know what the measurement is. Maybe it's kilometers, maybe it's meters, but we do have a cruise control option, which I've just engaged by holding down the left control button. So traveling from area to area is fairly swift in this game. It's not like Elite Dangerous, where you can spend hours and hours in a super cruise. I'll say hours, it's not really hours, but you know, 10-15 minutes is not going to be a thing here in traveling. It's all fairly quickly, which is nice because it's a single player game and we don't want to be sitting around flying for too long in whatever we got here, cruise travel. Have a look at the exterior of the ship as we're flying along there. Give you a bit of a feel for the area as well. At T-Hammer, no track IR at the moment, I don't think. So Deadpool, there's no flyable capital ships, it's fighters. There is something to do with capital ships coming at a later point, I do believe, but again we'll have a look at the roadmap a little bit further in. Right, so here is what we got. We got a space station. Black Star Nexus. Is that the one that's selected on the star map there, or have I gone to a different... Right, I actually didn't fly to the waypoint I selected. I actually had a different waypoint there. Can we deselect that? No? We go to the other waypoint. I don't want to go in that station. Where's the other waypoint? Over there. Okay, so 10,000 units in the other direction. That's me and my navigation abilities. I get lost in a paper bag, me. Wonder Kick-Ass, thank you very, very much for that. Glad to hear you like the videos. Very much appreciated. Wookie, Hokie, sorry getting your name wrong there. There is mod support coming further down the line. Like I said, again, we will have a look at the roadmap later on. So you can see all these areas, different structures that are dotted around the star system or the sector. So this is a mining... tripping over my words. This is a mining facility, multi-ops. Multi-ops is one of the factions. We can't actually dock here, but I believe that some of these structures will have relevance later on. They don't all have relevance just yet. We can't interact with all of them just yet. We can go over and scan some of these. That might be something you'll need to do for a mission. At the moment, later on, as the game progresses through early access, it might have more relevance. Now, I do want to talk about early access just briefly. I've got to admit, I've got to be perfectly blunt here. I don't always follow early access games. I'm not always a massive fan of early access games. But that said, Starpoint Gemini, Little Green Men Gaming, the developers here have proven themselves with early access, which is, in my mind, a good sign. This is their 4th game, and they've done very, very good with early access before. And when early access works, it works very, very well. And I think LGM are one of the developers that handle it very, very well. I know from the previous titles that they have listened to the developers, or the customers rather, the players, and they've customized the game quite a lot according to the demands of the players, or the feedback from the players. So essentially, as it goes through the early access process, LGM do take feedback from the players, and in fact, as we'll see from the roadmap later on into the video, it is something that they will take into consideration in the later stages of development, and they'll implement some mechanics for that. In fact, I do believe Starpoint Warlords was a game pretty much created entirely from fan suggestions. That was a 4X game, so a grand strategy game, and that was pretty much born from player requests. So they're very much a developer who like to listen to feedback. So in that regards, if you're going into this, knowing it's early access, I think you're in safe hands, knowing that there is going to be a lot of work and a lot of development going into the game. So yeah, all of these are kind of structures, as you just saw. We do have other bases, Black Star, which was the one we just visited, at Tortuga Bay, which we were at just now. We've got Luna over there, and over here we've got a jump gate. Now, jump gates may be something that's familiar to you from other games if you've played them in the past, other Starpoint games. There's two types of Starpoint, or two types of jump gates rather, in this game. One are the Starpoints. These allow you to jump between systems, and then you have T-gates, which allow you to jump between sectors, actually within the system. But the game, I believe, is $20. Ali Killeney. Also, from what I understand, the price will be increasing throughout early access. So in the early stages, you get it for a very low price, and it will increase as time goes on. So that's the Starbase again. We actually want to head to the Starpoint. That's over there, or the jump gate rather. So when is it available in the UK? It should be available in around about an hour or so, I believe, or it may even be available in the next 5 minutes. My custard love. There's a name there. LGM. Nice to see you there in chat. So we can destroy the containers on the cargo station if we want. Thanks for the tip. We'll have a look at that next time we head towards one of the large stations. Well, thank you, Nastine. Yes, we can jump a system, Ross. We're going to jump into another sector. Just now is where I'm heading over here. Heading there in cruise. And then we will, of course, find a Starpoint, so allowing us to jump into a different system. So each sector in the game does look distinctly different. We can see the graphics here of this area. And each one's sort of got a nice different backdrop. We can't see many of the asteroids around here, actually. Some of the asteroids are more prevalent in other areas. You see a lot more of them. There we go, there's a slight cluster of them over there. Some of them are quite dense in some areas. And there we go, we're at the jump gate here. Let's come around. So switching between the cameras is very easy. You just click on tab. Killjoy, thank you very, very much for that. Hugely appreciated. Thank you. So, Elite Explorer is peaceful play valid. Kind of, I think. Though you kind of do get attacked, you do kind of get intercepted when you're flying around. You can do things, or you can make money without getting into combat, but I don't know how far that would actually take you through the game. So I'm going to select this jump gate, and we're going to choose the different sector. So this is just inside the current star system. We've got the outer lands here, which I'm currently in, and we're going to head over to Pyros right now. We do get a loading screen between the loading screens there, between the sectors. Excuse me. So Urgius, I do believe the game is certainly influenced by Freelancer. It's got a lot of similar mechanics to a lot of those old style space games, and in fact I guess some of the competitors for this game would be Everspace and Rebel Galaxy Outlaw as well. Let's go and pick up a mission. We go to one of these stations here. I do believe this one. Or in fact, you know what? Let's go land on Pyros. We should be able to pick up a mission from there and get a bit of combat going on. So it's not like Eve in terms of flight, Kieron. We've got full control over the ship. Oh, we've got some combat here. Right, let's see if I can kill these without actually getting killed himself. That's one down. Another one. So we do have some missiles to use. They're quite handy when you get yourself in trouble. Sometimes, let's collect those resources. Sometimes combat does get a bit hectic. You might get 8 people attacking you all at once. Okay, so I'm making fairly short work of these because I have upgraded the weapons here. Upgraded the weapons, so that kind of made that's a bit easier, but sometimes you do get attacked by a whole bunch of ships at once, which makes it a little bit harder. Hey there, Duchess Elysium, nice to see you here again, and thank you very, very much for that. Usually appreciated as always, thank you. So you're Renegaders. Renegade in Twitch has just pointed out, you get, if you do purchase this at the moment, at least for the next 30 days, you also get Starpoint Gemini 2 included. That's if you purchase over on Steam, I believe. You'll get early access to Starpoint Gemini 3, and you'll get the full version of Starpoint Gemini 2 as well, so probably worth it. 2 games for the price of 1, can't really complain at that. So yes, this is a sequel, Kieran. Right. So we're landed here on the planet. On some of the planets you kind of get an outside exterior landing pad, which we'll see as we do some of the campaign, if I get far enough through on that, that is. Whereas here we're actually in, I guess, one of the town type areas or an underground base. A little bit hard to see from here. Let's have a look at the bar. So at the moment in the bar, there's not a whole lot of options here. I do believe there will be more later on, but at the moment we can come here and get some missions from. In case you're wondering about the characters here, again, this is something that will be improved later on, I'm told. That the character models are something that do have a lot of work planned for them in the future. Right, so someone's asking if I could turn down the game music. I don't know if the balance is alright. I think it's alright this end, but if someone wants that adjusted, do let me know. But I think it's okay this end. We just have a quick tweak with the audio there, just in case. Right, so we've got to scan a marked anomaly over on Empyros, which is the system we're in. We will do that. You know, why not? Right, so we should have a mission over here. I believe it'll be the green location. Let's head to that. And as David just pointed out there, no, that's the planet, not where we want to head. Where's this mission? What am I not seeing? Could it be that one? So yeah, as David's now pointing out, the game has just gone live over on Steam. So it is available. Right, a couple more people saying about the game music being a little bit loud, so we do have the ability to change that here. I don't want that overpowering the live stream. Let's bring that down just a little bit. Right, so a few other objects around here. I do believe this, hopefully, is the mission we're going to scan. There we go, yeah. Say hopefully because there was two bookmarks, 2 waypoints, and I didn't know which one it was. So scanning here is going to be quite easy by the looks of it. I've done one in the past where it was on the bottom of a huge vessel that was shooting at me, so I was trying to scan it at the same time as surviving, which was fun. But this one was pretty easy. Now we don't need to hand missions in once we've been given the mission. We can actually... Thanks, Stuart. Good to know the audio's okay. I thought it was fine. Yeah, so as I was saying, with the missions, we don't actually need to hand them in. Once we've completed them, they do go into our journal here. We can see that. got the missions that we've done. Anomaly report. I've done a takedown here on this particular playthrough. You get a tick next to them when they're completed, and you automatically get the credits. We've got some factions. You can see, well, with some of these factions, my reputation isn't so great. Others, it's starting to slowly improve, as with the Liberland here. It's doing quite well. Templars, looks like they're not big fans of me, doesn't it? Main quests are not available in free roam, but we are going to go and have a look at that right now. Let's jump into the game. Now, before I do this, I do want to point out it wasn't actually immediately obvious to me until a bit further into the game that in terms of what you might expect from the dialogue, this isn't intended to be, I guess, super serious. It's very much inspired, so I'm told by the developers, by Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, Monty Python, and that type of thing. So as we jump into it, if you're thinking there's a certain style of humour to it, then that would be why. And I'd say some of the dialogue goes a bit more into the camp area than super serious, and you'll see what I mean as soon as we get into it. But we're going to start the campaign here and have a bit of a playthrough. I'll sort the music out in just a minute. We'll adjust that back up again.
Captain Bold?
Yes, I am. What is it, ship?
I have a name, sir.
And moods, apparently. Okay, alright. What is it, Ada?
Yes. Thank you, Captain Bold. Now, I have some doubts regarding our location.
Oh? What kind of doubts?
The worst kind, Captain. The Sea of Sorrow is an uncharted area full of pirates and other assorted scum and villainy.
Precisely who we're looking for. And precisely who we want to join.
We do, sir? Did we vote on that?
Don't be silly, Ada. As if you'd ever vote against your captain.
As if, Captain.
Right, so I'm going to turn that music back up again. Someone says it's disappeared, so I'm messing around a little bit with the audio here, but I apologise for that. I do want to make sure we get it as close to possible as being perfectly balanced. Right. Actually, I think we can adjust that a little bit more, can't we? If there's a overall volume. We've now got some voice audio to deal with, so I don't want that being, missed. We want to hear the dialogue, don't we? Let's turn some of the other sounds down and turn the dialogue up a little bit, I think. Hopefully that should do the job. Let's see. Right, we've got to head to the waypoint. Let's go do that. As I mentioned earlier, we do have an engine cut here as well. Apologies about the dog barking in the background there. Right.
We're being hailed, Captain. We've been noticed.
Of course, Ada. I arranged this rendezvous.
When, sir? Why? And with whom?
With the most delicious buccaneer you ever laid your eyes on.
But I don't have eyes, sir. I have sensors.
Ravenna Black.
Ravenna Black, sir? The daughter of Corvus Black? The Blackest, sir?
Yes, the most charming.
And bloodthirsty.
And beautiful.
Pirate alive?
That she is. Hello, Ravenna, my dear. It is I.
So this guy completely reminds me of Zap Brannigan from Futurama. I don't know about you, whether you get that feeling from him.
Why is everybody doubting me today?
Where did you meet her, sir? And why are we here?
3 nights ago in a tavern on Lunai. She recognized my qualities right away and asked me to meet her here. Where are you, my love?
Cloaked, my love. You can never be too careful in my line. Did you come alone?
As if I would share you with anyone, my orchid of the vacuum.
Oh, Jonathan. You're more of an airhead than I've been told.
You can say that again. Wait, could you say that again?
Ships, Captain Bold. 3 ships, Captain. 3 pirated ships armed to the teeth.
Be consistent, Ada. If you don't have eyes, they can't have teeth. Ravenna, what's the meaning of this, my love?
Money, my love. I'm sorry to say, but as much as I love you,
As I
love
said at the
money
start,
more.
there goes Aid.
But
Thank you
I
very
don't
much
have
for
any
that,
money.
by the way. Appreciated.
That's true.
Jonathan, love, you are made of money.
I am?
He is.
There's a bounty out for you. More money than I ever dreamed about. Somebody wants you, and somebody wants you bad.
Somebody wants me bad? Ooh, did you hear that, Ada?
Miss Ravenna, did you say somebody wants him bad or dead?
Alive, unfortunately. That's why I haven't iced him in that tavern. Now, Jonathan, love, will you make it easy for me and surrender?
Surrender, Jonathan. They have us outgunned. Think of me.
Well, it depends.
Depends on what?
Who is it that wants me?
Some girl, Rosa Stomatina. I think she wants to marry you.
Oh, screw that. No deal.
Captain?
She's filthy rich, Jonathan. It can't be that bad marrying someone that rich.
She only wants me for my name. No deal, Ravenna. We fight.
Be reasonable, Jonathan.
We fight.
We fight. So yeah, I think Zap Brannigan was probably, whilst not an influence as such, it's kind of, I'd say not entirely unintended. Gets our way, echoing your sentiment.
Enemy eliminated.
So you might notice the weapons are slightly different to my previous ship as we were seeing in Free Roam. And that's because this ship is...
Ada, what the hell is going on?
This ship has not
Shield
got
below
the
50%,
upgrades that the other one
in
had.
case you didn't notice. We are heavily outmatched, sir. May I suggest we run and hide?
Come on, we can take them.
We cannot, sir. It's only a matter of time before we explode.
Ah, fine.
Okay, thanks Stuart then, just adjusting that up again.
Make this easy and surrender.
We're going to use a missile on the other ship, I think.
Wrong ship, buddy.
Well, they've done 5 missiles, don't forget, so let's make sure we aim quite well with them. Mr. Anderson, thank you very much. Or Miss Anderson, I shouldn't assume there. Hi, yes. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Ada.
Whatever. Okay, wasn't that a great fight, Ada?
Please define great, Captain Bold.
We lost half of everything. Half the shields, half the engines, and half of the supplies.
But none of our spirit.
Yeah, like that's worth anything.
Come on, Ada. We're alive. Shouldn't that count for something?
Technically, Captain, only you are alive. I'm an autonomous command module, overlaid by a supposedly amusing personality.
You are a sweetheart, Ada. If you were a person, I'd marry you.
And yet you just literally fought to avoid a marriage.
Ah, well, that's a long story.
Yeah, but with only half the engines, we have twice the time.
It's not a very interesting story.
Well, it must be more interesting than this introduction.
You really want to know?
Yeah, if pirates are gonna chase us because of it.
Yeah, I guess you're right. You know who Thomas Scott is?
The Thomas Scott? The late Thomas Scott? Big kahuna of Nexus Scientificum? Only the most important person in the whole Gemini system?
The very same. Well, I'm his grandchild.
Ah,
One of his grandchildren, really. There was 16 of us last week.
an ominous use of the past tense there.
Yeah. Grandfather's death kind of tossed Nexus into a heritage war. Factions within factions within factions, each one trying to secure someone from Scott's bloodline as proof of its legitimacy.
And eliminating those that cannot be secured?
Yep. 9 of my cousins killed. I even liked some of them. The rest are more or less prisoners of the warlords.
And you?
I decided to bolt. Politics are not my game. I borrowed a ship.
Me?
You were the best looking one.
Yeah, before I halved in size. And the girl?
Ravenna?
No, the other one. Rosa?
Oh. Rose is the head of Nexus's hard science division. An important faction who has no Scott of its own.
So she decided to marry you?
So she decided to marry me.
Why?
I might have wooed her a little once, when I was drunk.
Ah. Okay, back to the task, Captain Bold. What's the plan?
I could use a drink.
Yeah, me too. We're running on fumes.
Any place close where we could, refuel? What do the maps say?
We lost them, sir. The relevant half, at least. I have the proximity scanner running. It will let us know when it finds something.
It'll beep?
It'll beep.
It beeped.
It did indeed. A human-made structure within range, Captain.
Can you get us there?
With my eyes closed, Captain.
The eyes you don't have?
Well, those are very easy to close, sir.
Let's bring up that dialogue there a little bit, I think, and we can get the rest of the audio down then. There we go, that should do that. Right, so dialogue feels like a so bad it's good B movie from Stuart. Yeah, some of the I've seen some comments there about the character models not being particularly great. I have spoken to the developers about that. They have said that character models are something that are going to be worked on quite extensively over the early access period, so I guess we'll have to see how that pans out. I'm interested to see how much they can actually improve them.
Well, Multi-Ops owns it, which means they'll charge you a heart and soul for even being there.
Won't they settle for some spirit?
So Fathom, yes, I do read the chat. I just didn't want to overtalk the dialogue there because obviously people are listening to it. The game did come out today. In fact, it's only come out, what, half hour ago? Quarter of an hour ago or so? So not too long. It's in early access, by the way. This is a very early access title. $19. There's a link. I don't know if there's a link on Twitch. Oh, thank you, Stuart. Stuart's just put a link over there. There's a link on YouTube. Right, so we're going to dock here, and what's going to happen when we dock in here is you'll see some of the very early parts of the game's exterior or external, or I guess you could say on foot gameplay. We play as Ada, the ship's AI here. It downloads itself into the droid, which we'll see in just a moment, and we kind of float around or fly around as a little drone. So some parts of the game are in much earlier development than previous parts of the game.
We'll moor into the dry dock. I'll download myself into the drone, sneak into the best ship I can find, and overtake its controls.
We're going to steal a ship?
No. I am going to steal a ship. You go and get
Fathom, no, I'm not the developer.
yourself
I'm just a YouTube content creator.
Yes.
Doing this as a sponsored video,
Don't
just
fool
so
anyone
everyone knows.
if
As
you
I
get
mentioned at the
drunk.
start, working with LGM developers on this. Right, so this is the part I was just talking about, and again, some of these are in much earlier stages than others. I believe, from what I understand, that eventually the idea here, this is kind of like a working concept. So the idea here is that this particular part of the game will eventually become pretty much a full-on FPS mode. And we've got some NPCs around there that were just trying to sneak past. I think they're kind of standing there. Not sure. It looked like we nearly got seen just now. Yeah, there's a little security guard. We don't want to get seen by them. So there's not a lot we can do with this just at the moment. We're kind of just floating around and pressing a single key to hack the locks here, which opens the door, and we've got to get to a destination to steal a ship. That's the aim of this particular part. But later we will be able to do more here. Apparently this will involve salvaging. The drone will basically be upgradable, but that's further down the line. That's later updates for the game. So I'm kind of seeing this as early concept at the moment of what we can see further down or further into development. Right, so we're nearly there. Just get to the green lock up here, and there we go. Back to the bar with Captain Bold.
How's the hunting going, my dear AI companion?
Meet me at the exit ramp. ASAP or sooner.
That sounds promising.
Go!
So I did ask Pondus about whether or not this would be on consoles. PlayStation 4 version is not guaranteed. LGM, the developers say it will be dependent on a number of other factors. Didn't elaborate really beyond that, but PlayStation 4 isn't really guaranteed at this point.
Wow,
Xbox, on the other hand,
this is a very
is
nice
pretty
ship.
much a certainty. There will be an
We'll
Xbox
admire it
version.
later. We have to go.
I believe I forgot to pay for my drink.
And I believe that's the least of our problems.
Right, let's see if we can get away with this new ship. So, Athos, this is a PC. Yes, I'm playing on the PC version.
Ada,
Yeah.
Yeah?
you sound uncharacteristically exuberant.
I'll hit you so hard you won't need a T-gate.
Right, we've got to try and escape from these dudes, which hopefully shouldn't be too hard. So we can swap out weapons, as the screen is saying there. I've got laser weapons here, or blasters, which are very good for taking down the shields. Slightly less good for taking down the hull. Let's swap over. So I'd imagine this is some sort of kinetic weapon, perhaps, or energy-based weapon that's capable of doing better hull damage.
Just what I needed. This sucks.
Well, isn't this what you wanted, sir? A life of an outlaw?
A life of an outlaw, yes. Not necessarily the death of an outlaw.
They often come as a set, sir.
You know that supposedly amusing personality of yours, Ada?
Sir.
So Sendu, is there
Less
lots of
amusing by
ships
the
to fly?
minute,
Well,
Right you are.
apparently no. There's not lots of ships to fly. Essentially, the way
An idea
Jeff
how to make
Starpoint
more
Gemini
enemies,
3
I
works
presume?
is the ships are modular. So as you upgrade the hull, as you upgrade the wings, as you upgrade the engines, it will change the appearance of the ship. It will change both how it looks as well as how it actually handles.
Here we have to avoid Nexus Scientificum and all of its factions. The bounty-hunting pirates. And now the multi-ops.
I made all those enemies in, what, 3 days?
You're simply amazing, Captain.
Thank you, Ada.
The Gemini is out. The solar system's no better. It's lousy with multi-ops there. The only possible safe haven is...
Don't say Sirius system.
The Sirius system.
Oh, you never listen, do you?
What's wrong with Sirius, sir?
There are aliens there. Those weird, long-faced ones.
The Dogons? Are you specious, sir?
I'm not speciest. They just look weird.
Don't worry, sir. Everybody's a little bit specious. The important thing is that there is no nexus, and almost no multi-ops there. However...
I just knew there was gonna be a however.
However, the only way there is through the Starpoint, which is Nexus-owned.
So are we cooked?
Not necessarily, sir. We are in a multi-op ship. Chances are, multi-ops hasn't communicated a theft this small to Nexus yet.
So we're not cooked.
Not necessarily, sir. We still have to pay for the transit.
So we are cooked after all.
Not necessarily, sir. There is a cloud of hypercharged Cargon up ahead.
The Prometheus, the game also has, in addition to the campaign, a free roam mode, which is actually the mode I prefer. We'll be having a look at that a bit further on. Maybe another quarter of an hour or so, we'll have a look at the free roam again. Both of these will begin further development as time goes on. Now, someone said, how long has this been in early access? I don't actually know the answer to that, but if the developers are about either in chat or if they're listening and want to let us know, then that would be pretty great. I'd kind of like to know how long they anticipate early access is going to be. In fact, let's have a look at a couple of things just before we go on further. Excuse me. Commander Gyarados, you haven't missed everything. Perhaps about halfway through what I want to actually show everyone. Athos, this can be played with keyboard and mouse. That's what I'm playing with at the moment. But it is also compatible with gamepad and HOTAS as well. And yes, this is Gemini 3, Starpoint Gemini 3. Right, so what was I going to do? I was going to have a look at the ships. So someone was asking in chat about the different ships that are going to be flyable in the game. So as I said, the different ships are not a thing. There's the singular ship that we got here that you've seen me use so far. But as you saw in the free roam earlier on, we can change out the hull, we can change out the wings and different other parts of the ship. And these completely change the appearance and the feel of the ship. So on the screen now you can see a few variations of some of the ships that will actually be possible in the game. And some of them you can see are quite distinct, some of them very different from each other. So whilst there's not hundreds of ships, whilst you're not going to have a fleet of ships, you're about to have completely different looking ships and essentially build a ship that suits your own playstyle and your own, I guess, what you enjoy most in terms of visuals. So thank you LGM Games there. Just confirming that we've got 8 to 10 months of early access. So not too bad all in all. As we're talking about early access, give me a second here. And early LGM Games did give me a roadmap. Well, let's have a look at that right now. Let's make sure I load up the right thing for everyone to see. We're going to need to size this. 2 seconds. So yeah, we do have a roadmap here. I need to adjust that screen next. Oh, there we go. That kind of gets it where we want, does it? Not quite. Shrink it down a little bit more. Right, I think that should... Trying to get this on the screen here, come on. Want the roadmap on the screen? No, we don't want that. Right, there we go. Sorry about that. That's got it. A little bit of fiddling around there. Right, so this is the roadmap for the things that are going to be coming into the game further down the line. So we've got the... We can't quite see all this on the screen, can we? Give me 2 seconds. I apologise about this. We do have a roadmap already open, so maybe we'll just rely on that instead. It'd be easier, wouldn't it? There we go. Right. After all that, here we are. So the Starpoint Gemini roadmap. Yep, Shrinking Center got there, Stuart, in the end. Took a bit of messing around, didn't it? So this is where we are right at the moment, the early parts of it. So early access, first bug fixing, additional game mechanics balancing. Next up is the skill shot. So we'll have skills mechanics, critical system failure mechanics upgrades. So this is when the ship actually gets to a certain point of damage, or certain types of weapons actually cause significant damage to your ship. There'll be certain failure mechanics that go on your ship, and these will play out in different ways. You'll be able to handle your ship different depending on what's actually being damaged on it. This is something that's going to be upgraded. At the moment, there's nothing too much going on there, aside from something we saw very early on in the campaign, where actually we got a critical systems failure. You may remember when the lady was talking to us, we got a critical systems failure. So I'm imagining that will be something along those sort of lines. We've got additional player ship modules, additional enemy ships coming, additional usable equipments, additional side quests, and additional game optimization. Then what else have we got? Right, we've got crafting mechanics. These are the roadmaps essentially broken down into different segments, and these will be introduced at different times across the early access period, which LGM just confirmed is around 8 to 10 months. But then we'll be going on to gears and cogs, which will be getting crafting mechanics. We did see early on in the game there's a whole bunch of components and different things that come as drops, as loot drops. We'll be able to use those in crafting. Radiation mechanics, I don't know what that is about, but it sounds interesting. And again, we've got a whole bunch of additional player ship modules, weapons, usable equipments, and new interiors. And this goes back to what I was saying early on about the upgradable interiors in terms of gameplay, whereas at the moment it kind of feels like proof of concept, but we'll be going on to a bit more hopefully later on. Now this I find kind of interesting, world bosses. I kind of assume this must be for boss stages in the campaign, but also hopefully something that will be introduced for the free roam. World bosses can always be fun. Mining and scavenging, something definitely looking forward to. I believe scavenging, a lot of that comes from scavenging at the big bases. Mining is obviously mining some of the asteroids. The New World sector, stations, bars, quest givers. So as that goes on, we'll be having more areas to explore. More stuff into the sandbox mode. I guess that's the free roam part of the game. Additional side quests. There's not a whole lot of side quests in the game right now. I do believe there's something like just one side quest from each bar at the moment. There's a number of bars, but from what I could see, those are just repeatable at the moment. They always give you the same one. You need to fly to a different bar to get a different variation on the quest. So it's nice to see these are being planned for upgrade later on. New guild quest lines. And the main storyline expansion, obviously that's probably not going to be complete till near the end of early access. Additional player ship modules again, these are coming in. New world sectors, so the map is going to be expanded throughout the development phase. Interface improvements, combat upgrade, polishing, and additional weapon balancing, some more world bosses, more guild quest lines, additional enemy ships, additional exteriors, additional sandbox, more side quests, a whole load of things, additional epic items. This is interesting to me. Crafting components and the blueprints. So crafting looks like it's going to be quite a significant part of the game. Additional game optimizations. Okay, so all of that kind of gets us through the first stages of early access, and at that point we're not even into beta. Beta's coming later on, which we've got here. So achievements, additional stuff again, just reiterating more player modules and other things to come along, and legendary items, expanding on the crafting again. What else have we got? New world sectors, additional interiors. So again, just expanding on some of the stuff that's already introduced in the game, improving it and adding more of it into the game. More the same there. And by the end of beta, we're coming towards a complete storyline, which is obviously what the people who want the campaign will actually want. I'm a big fan of the free roam myself. That would probably be the thing I'm going to play the most, but certainly the campaign is going to be quite a large part of the game. And I did ask LGM how long the campaign is likely to be, and they said if you just played the main story and nothing else, there's about 8 to 10 hours of gameplay in the story. But most people are going to want to do other things, including the side quests and many other things, so there's probably a lot more than just those hours to it. What else have we got? And someone asked about modding. Modding support is going to be a thing. I'm looking forward to what the community can do with this. I think communities also always do nice things with these type of games. Shipyards, capital, ship, mechanics, and fishing. Seems a bit random, doesn't it? But there are some planetary parts here coming later on. There's actually some planetary landing areas right here. So we'll get back to the campaign. Hopefully I can show you a bit more on the planetary side of it, and you'll see what fishing is all about. We probably, I don't know if you could see that all on the screen there. Hopefully you could. Let's get back to the game. So the Sendu, the interiors indicate the areas of the game in which you can actually leave your ship and enter. Right, we need to extract this stuff here as payment for the fee to get through the jump gate, which is relatively nearby. Fishing for some space quids. That'd be pretty neat, wouldn't it? Alright, here's the jump gate. This will take us to another star system. PKF, it'd be nice to see other ships from all sci-fi franchises modded into Gemini Starpoint at some point, wouldn't it? Dan Cashman, we'll have a look at the map in just a moment.
In my personal top 5.
There's 3 star systems from what I understand at the moment anyway, Dan.
Gemini is in view, sir.
Broken down into 2 sectors
I'll
each.
unmask the ID signature for the moment, and you should hail the gatekeeper.
Right. Starpoint Gemini, Starpoint Gemini. This is Captain Quilt of MO47DKW speaking. Please respond, Starpoint Gemini.
Captain Quilt?
Shut up. That was my nickname on dating apps back in the day.
Dating apps?
Shut up.
Yes, MO47DKW. Go ahead.
Requesting the rite of passage.
There are ships ahead of you. It might take a while. Where do you want to go? Solar?
No, serious.
Serious? Seriously? Not many multi-ops traffic in that direction. What's the occasion?
Delivery?
A delivery. Yeah.
Delivery? In a gunship? What are you delivering? Toothpicks? A team of basketball-playing fleas?
No. The Towers of Cabona.
The towers? You mean the show?
Yeah, the commander of the Magellan refinery is a huge fan. We're bringing him the entire new season.
Wouldn't it be easier to stream it?
You'd think so, right? But no, when it comes to inter-system travel, it's apparently more cost-efficient to piggyback it than to stream.
That's weird. Okay, MO47DKW.
Man, that guy sounds so bored, doesn't he?
Prepare the payment.
I guess it's a boring job running a Stargate or a jump gate.
My, Captain Bold. You are quite an accomplished liar.
What can I say? All those years on those dating apps.
The Stoner Gatekeeper.
Captain
Yeah,
Quilt
Fox.
speaking, MO47DKW.
Captain Quilt. I knew an idiot with such a nickname once.
Ravenna? What are you doing here?
Following the trail of calamity to my bounty, of course. Will you surrender peacefully this time, my love?
I can't.
Oh, don't be silly, Jonathan. Keep yourself up. Get married. Bring the war for Nexus to an end. Make me rich.
Ada, how swift is this ship?
As swift as it's elegant. What do you have in mind?
We go through the Starpoint now. No waiting, no paying, no nothing. Can we do it?
There's a 50-50 chance we won't end in serious, Captain.
Can we do it?
You pilot. I'll fire.
Ravenna.
Yes, my love.
Here's your answer.
Hey, you can't do that.
Bang. Right, so how does combat feel? So, yeah, very different to other games. Not like Rebel Galaxy Outlaw, where we've got the auto-follow. We've got strafing on this, which helps. Very, very different. Also, not at all like Everspace either. The combat in this is different, certainly its own thing. Again, early access, so I imagine there's going to be work done on that later on. But yeah, I've been enjoying it.
It's not over yet,
It's challenging enough.
Why? We're in, aren't we?
but not out.
And Siegfried, I don't know if there's different cockpits in the game. From what I've seen so far, I've seen two. The one we saw very early on, and this one.
Who's the greatest pilot of them all?
10-speed bow is universally acknowledged as the most accomplished pilot of the last 200 years.
I mean of the living ones.
Glenn Curacao?
I meant in this ship.
Let me think.
Ah, you won't spoil my mood. I just jumped systems, saved my bacon from the Pirate Queen, and now...
Goes ahead, yes, the solar system is in this.
now-
Or the solar system, as they call it in here.
Well, now I can do whatever I want.
There's 3 star systems. We should be able to have a look in a bit. If we can't have a look during the campaign, we'll have a look in the free roam. We can't actually get to the solar system yet in free roam. At least I wasn't able to.
Pain in my propulsion, Ada. Tomorrow, next week, in a month. What does it matter?
Well, it matters slightly, Captain. Our fuel is rather low.
We were full 5 minutes ago.
Hot wheeling through a Starpoint does come at a price.
Wait. What
Tom,
about
yes,
the
I'm
car
using
guns
mouse and
selected
keyboard here.
recently?
Unrefined
Joystick is
cargo,
supported.
Captain.
And
Let's
VR
refine it
is not
then.
there.
The
No.
Magellan refinery is here somewhere, isn't it?
We shall take a stolen multi-ops vessel to a multi-ops refinery and show them a load of cargon illegally collected on the other side of Starpoint. The passage through which we haven't paid for? That is a bold plan, Captain Bold.
Yeah, well... do you
So
have a
freaks, there's
better
no
one?
fleet
Or would
management
you like to
like
call
Warlords in
Glenn
this. This is a
Curacao,
completely different
perhaps?
approach. It's very much about
Please, Captain.
being the
I just wanted to
lone
point out
combat
that you're an
pilot.
outlaw now, so not every option is open to you anymore.
Okay, fine. Who needs options? We'll be outlaws and we'll do outlaw things. Which are...
Scavenging, stealing, smuggling, illegal mining.
that sounds suspiciously like work. Any chance for, I don't know, some light piracy?
Piracy is for the big boys, Captain.
And girls.
And Ravenna Black. Yeah.
And Ravenna, yeah.
All right, Ada. Find us something to scavenge then, will ya?
Right. Something to scavenge. Guess that's that waypoint over there. So, one thing I will show you before we go any further is the external camera mods we got here. We can just freeze frame at any moment and we can detach the camera. So this is going to be for people who really like getting screenshots. And if you get into the right locations, you can really get some nice screenshots. I think I know quite a lot of people like to do. So LGM got a bit of feedback in the past asking for better camera tools, and that's something we can actually do. In fact, we can actually zip quite away from the ship, I do believe. So fortunately, it's not a multiplayer game, so you're not going to be able to use this in an advantageous way to cheat things because it's single player. It means you can get some fantastic views of some of the areas, and I guess if we find some really colourful, vibrant areas in a minute, or we're talking about colourful, vibrant areas, just look at that backdrop, but you know what I mean. We could probably take some extra screenshots there. So yeah, the game does pause while you're in this mode. Commander Jerry Doss. Let's take another screenshot there, just for the sake of it. So we can get back into the cockpit again in a minute. Let's head towards this waypoint. And as I was saying early on, oh look at that, our health is right down. Health being in the bottom left hand corner there. Oh no. They might end up killing us. Let's change to the other weapon. So we can play third person like this. I do prefer first person, but third person is an option if you want, and level up. Let's have a look at what that's about in a minute.
Now that's piloting. Eat your heart out, Blake Carousel.
I'm going to try and keep hold of the missiles for now, for areas that get a little bit more on the difficult side. It does get a little bit more harder. There's a fairly substantial battle coming up, a little bit further on into the story. Right, so someone mentioned about the ship model there and some of the graphical issues with it. I think it's worth keeping in mind it is early access, so some of those things will be fixed. But you know, it's a valid observation for sure. I did notice that myself. A bit crooked. Right. Oh, let's have a look at the a bit of a look at this structure first. A shipwreck. That looks like it was probably, if not a capital ship, it was certainly a very large ship at one point, wasn't it? And it's a nice area where you can I can really show off the engine cut, which allows us to keep our velocity and just orientate our ship in any direction we want. In fact, I think there's a nice screenshot here somewhere, isn't there? So the game is open sandbox, yes, Daniel. I'm in the story mode here. So it's not open story mode, it's not sandbox mode just yet. We can get into that. Just going to take another screenshot here because I like that. Although I should have probably got the engine running. So let's deploy our ship into not our ship, but Ada rather, into the interior area here. We're going to have to roam around this area here and hack these terminals. There's nothing we can find at the moment. There's nothing we can really shoot. We haven't got weapons or shields just yet. But how does it compare to Everspace? So Everspace is obviously a roguelike game. It's linear, so you move from A to B all the time. And when you die in that game, you end up back to the start. Starpoint Gemini, meanwhile, Starpoint Gemini 3 is a complete open world game. So you can go where you want, when you want, do whatever you want. And aside from the campaign mode here, which is obviously linear, the free roam mode is completely open-ended. So you can do what you want. In terms of combat, I'd probably say Everspace is more combat-centric, whereas Starpoint Gemini is more about experiencing life in space, so trading, scavenging, mining eventually, those sort of things. Right, I think they've got a couple more of these things to hack. So yeah, you can be a bounty hunter when you go to the bars. They do give you some missions to go and hunt people down. We might be able to get a chance to have a look at that in a bit. Okay. I don't want to go too much further through on the campaign obviously people are going to want to experience it from themselves when they get the game. We'll go through a little bit further though, and then we go back to free roam again. I think that's probably done it. So again, not a whole lot going on here. Really, I see this as a proof of concept. At least that's my hope. I'm told there's a lot more to come on these interior bits here. There we go, and you can see there's some differences between this area and the previous area. This one's certainly got a little bit more going on with it. So, Rye and Coke, any idea of the size in the game? So, I assume you mean in size in terms of the size of the map. There's 3 star systems split into various sectors. If you mean in time of hours, then open play pretty much as long as you want. And the campaign, if you only play the single player mode, there's 8 to 10 hours of gameplay, but that I'm told will be quite a bit longer if players do the side quests and all the rest of it. And there we go, Stuart. Thank you very much. In chat, you can see a link to the early access roadmap for Starpoint Gemini. So, yep, in very early stages at the moment. LGM, the developers behind this game, they do have a kind of proven track record, really. It's one of the reasons I agreed to do this live stream, because, you know, I want to do a live stream for a game that's not going to be going anywhere. And I've generally say no to those type of things. I've turned many down in the past, but I think LGM have proven themselves in the past. This is their 4th game, so I don't think there's any chance of this, you know, barring a world-ending catastrophe. I don't think there's any chances of this not completing the early access process. They seem to have a plan well laid out. They've proven themselves in the past, so you only really need to look at their other games to get a feel for where this is heading. I thought we were toward the end there. I guess we're just got to get back to the ship. Nope, nope, nope. We don't want to go that way. We're going the wrong way. We get ourselves lost. Back down the corridor that we came through. So yeah, you know what? I've got to say, for an early access game, it's very stable. We've been playing an hour and 20 minutes so far, and there's been no issues. I think I've been perhaps played about 10 hours of this so far in total. I've maybe seen 1 or 2 crashes in that time. So for an early access title, certainly no complaints there. Okay, let's... you gonna let me through? Yeah, we can hack. So what does this game offer if you've got Elite, No Man's Sky and Star Citizen? So this has very much more of a story campaign, which obviously Elite and Star Citizen don't have.
Makes you think, doesn't it, Ada?
Think?
And
Are you feeling well, Captain?
All those wrecks, I mean. Space travel is not
listen
all
to these
fun and
guys
games,
here.
is it?
Did you think it was?
Well, no. I mean, I knew space was
I think in
kinda
terms of comparing it
dangerous
to something like
even in
Elite, obviously
peacetime,
Elite being
but
multiplayer is a
have
very,
you
very
seen
different
the
game.
bodies floating around that last
With this, it's
I have.
more straightforward, more personal, even if you're doing the
You want
free
me to
roam,
select them, Captain?
simply because
Those were just pirates.
the
Not much
gameplay is
resale
much
value,
faster,
I'm
much
afraid.
quicker paced.
That was
So
cool,
Elite
Ada.
is
Cold as space,
slower
Captain.
paced in the terms of, a lot of people actually call it grindy. I think it's grindy myself, Elite.
We should try and sell
It takes
what
a
we've got,
lot of
Captain.
time and a lot of
We
effort to
should.
actually
You're right.
do many things. But this
Pirate
being a
Harbor
single
is
player
our
game,
best bet then,
even
Captain.
simple things like travel
my
are just
thoughts
much quicker.
exactly,
You can
Ada.
get around the galaxy, and it's very much in the vein
You
of
still thinking
many of the
about
old
dead
style
people, Captain?
space
Don't you
games.
ever think about dead drones, Ada?
It brings a tear to my eye every time I blast one, Captain.
You don't
So there's
have
definitely
eyes,
some
Ada.
similarities between this and
Like you are,
Freelancer.
Captain. Shall I plot the course to harbor then?
Plot away.
So cheese, can we land on planets? So not in the sense of planetary landings, flying through the atmosphere and landing down on the planet. But yes, in terms of flying over to the planet and docking with it, you can dock down on the landing zones on the planets. saying. That's me reading chat and not looking at the screen there. So yeah, Mobster, as Stuart said there, he's got the answer to that one. Thanks, Stuart. Right, so we're heading here, I think. There we go.
There's the harbor, sir.
The place looks eerie. Remind me again why we decided to come here?
To sell the scavenge loot through some shady, no questions asked, back alley type of deal, sir.
All right. And what's the best place for that?
I would suggest the bar, sir. You can never go wrong with a bar.
You can never go wrong with a bar unless you're teetotal. Right. So we saw some of the docking areas early on. We are going to head over into free roam in just a few more minutes. I think we'll do this section and
So, what do you
we'll
drink?
move on to free roam.
Actually, I have a taste for some trading, if you know what I'm saying.
So what's the difference between this and Starpoint Gemini
So,
2?
I was
I'll
under
answer
the
that in just a
impression
moment.
that
Let's let
you're
these
the
guys
man that would be
talk it
interested
out
in
first.
some trading.
Thank you, Jerry.
I'm I mean Quilt. Yeah, the name's Quilt.
Quilt, you said? Your name is Quilt?
Yeah, Captain Quilt.
Captain, sure. Everybody with half a ship is a captain these days. It used to be you had to earn that title.
Right. And you are?
Elias Weakbeard. Rear Admiral Elias Weakbeard, if it pleases your captainship. Quilt, you said?
Yeah.
I knew a Quilt once. On a dating app. A cute boy. That you?
Nope, not me. Not cute at all.
Oh, I don't know. In the right light?
Can we do business? Please?
Yeah, sure. I must have
So
talked
Samuel,
about
not in the
that,
sense of
though.
freely walking around on the
What are you
surface of
talking
planets, no,
about?
but we can
My
go
merch
down
is all
to
primo stuff.
there's some
Primo. It's far from primo.
planetary surface
It's
starports,
first
I guess you could
class,
call them.
Handpicked. Practically artisanal. And what about that Cargon?
The Cargon is fine, but it takes too many middlemen to unload. I can barely give you 3 bananas for the lot.
Bananas? What are you blabbing about?
Oh? I thought you speak pirate.
I do.
Then you know what I'm talking about?
Of course.
A banana here is the same as a Snow White in Gemini, or say, half a hand in the solar system. 1/12 of an old pajama.
Still, for primo Cargon, I'd expect at least half of an old pajama.
Half? And what else? Will you take my lovely teeth, too?
Okay, all right. 4 bananas, then?
3 and 6 fishes. That's my final offer.
3 and 10.
3 and 8. But you throw in all that other scavenged crap.
Deal.
Listen, Quilt, I like you, and I need a partner.
I'm engaged to be married.
A business partner. For a job. Have you ever heard of the Quagmires of Exterra?
Of course. They're my favorite band.
You're funny. No, I'm thinking real Quagmires on the planet Exterra.
Oh, okay, sure.
There must be a treasure down there.
A treasure?
Yeah, the biggest treasure of them all.
How do you figure that?
Because of the Dogons.
Dogons? Ugh, I hate Dogons.
Who doesn't? But listen, the blasted Dogons guard Exterra very closely. And why, I ask you, if there's nothing down there but bogs and marshes?
Why indeed?
Because of the treasure. You know how the Dogons are all, we don't care about money. We are old and cultured and better than all the rest of you put together.
Yeah, the knobheads.
See, what I think is that's just a trick so no one would figure out how much lolly they got stashed at Exterra.
You think?
I know, and I think the 2 of us can get us a piece of that action.
Wait a second, just the 2 of us?
I trust no one else. Do you?
Well,
See? Just the two of us then. You keep the Dogons busy, and I zip in, figure out what's what and where's where, and zip out with the loot.
With bananas?
Old pajamas, my boy, old pajamas to your heart's desire. You've never seen so many old pajamas in your life, I guarantee you that. Old pajamas from here to Kalamazoo. What do you say? Do we have a deal?
So how many playable ships are there? So
How much did we make?
A lot.
How much?
ships are customizable,
3 old pajamas and 8 bananas?
so you don't trade your ships in. I mentioned slightly earlier on the stream, but you might have missed it if you weren't there.
3 bananas and 8
Ships
fishes.
are modular, so as you change out the modules on your ship, they
3
all look
bananas and 8
completely
fishes.
different. And I'll bring up
3 bananas and 8
an image of this in a minute, so you can get a bit of an idea.
For the Cargon and all? That barely covers our cost. What were you thinking?
He confused me with the exchange rates. Besides, I got a sweet deal out of it.
What kind of deal?
We're gonna steal the Dogon treasure.
That's the deal? This great deal where the two of you are going to steal something from the Dogon Kingdom.
Relax. Weakbeard has a plan that will make us all very rich. Now, how do we get to Xterra?
If I had a palm and a face, I would literally facepalm myself right now. You don't even know how to get to Xterra.
Well, that's why I have you. My job is to have brilliant ideas, and yours is to make them happen.
Not only is this not a brilliant idea, it's not even yours.
Xterra, Ada. Directions?
We'll have to use a T-gate.
Right, so someone actually asked about the size of the maps. Let's have a look. Yeah, so yeah, this is one of the sectors. T-gate is here, already bookmarked. These are the star points. These allow you to travel between various systems. The bigger gates, the smaller gates allow you to travel between sectors within the game. So Cataton is a planet right near us. We're going to go through the jump gate here and head to the planet called Xterra, which is within the same system. I assume that's the waypoint, isn't it? Looks like it. Yeah, let's go over there, quite a way away. So, PM Collector Boy, if you don't want to do the campaign, and I'm not sure, I would be playing the campaign all the way through. I guess we'd have to see how that goes. But there is a free roam mode, which we're going to have a look at in just a moment. And I've been, enjoying that. I've liked the free roam mode so far. I've played quite a few hours on it. It's 3 starts. I'm going through it again just to see what it's all like. And we're going to jump onto one of my saves on there in just a moment. Let's get through this gate, though, and see what happens next. Daniel, so very different to Rebel Galaxy Outlaw. Some similarities in the sense that you're playing a singular character, not a character of your own choosing. Basically, you're playing an established or hero or anti-hero or whatever you want to call this guy. Zap Brannigan, I call him. Captain Bold. But yeah, there's a lot of differences between this and Rebel Galaxy Outlaw, but also similarities in the sense of the way you're playing a protagonist. But one thing I think is important to stress is that the campaign isn't fully developed at this point. There's maybe, say, 2 to 2.5 hours of campaign currently in the game, but that is going to be extended right out later on. If you look at the roadmap, you'll see there's a few key points where the story campaign is extended. In its current state, can you tell a similar campaign that feels like this? So in its current state, no, because it's still in very early access, but in terms of where it's heading, once a lot of the roadmap parts are in place, I'd say one of the closest comparisons, Friggs, would be Rebel Galaxy Outlaw. Duchess, how different is this to Starpoint Gemini 2. So basically on this we've got fully modelled 3D characters, voiceovers, voice syncing, all alien races to talk to. These are all things that weren't really in this way in Starpoint Gemini 2. We can't directly control or command capital ships. That's something that's not in this, but we do have the smaller ship here which we can outfit. And I'm just gonna, let's keep the ship straight. I'm just gonna show everyone that screenshot again. There's a screenshot of the different ships. But you don't outright buy these ships. This is how your ship changes in appearance as you change different modules on it. So yeah, we're stuck to a single fighter ship here, but we can customize it pretty extensively. So we're not buying preset ships. That's another thing that's different. I don't know in terms of the language availability for the other game. This isn't really a gameplay as such, but I do know that Starpoint Gemini 3 is going to be available in 9 different languages, so that's something to think about as well, especially for those of you that are not native English speakers. So the game's available on most PC store platforms. Rafo, it's $20 and includes, on Steam at least, it includes Starpoint Gemini 2 as well, at least for the next 30 days. Right, did we go through that? Okay, I think no, we didn't. No capital ships, that's right, Nanny. The roadmap does mention capital ships right towards the end, but I'm not sure in what context. Yeah, we're already at Xterra, so what are you talking about, waypoint? There must be... Ah, no. Not that one. That one. So there's Xterra, just to the top of us, the top of the screen. This Earth-like planet over there. We will get to go down there in just a moment, so I'm going to try and hold out the stream long enough so that we can land down there. I'd like you to see the surface of the planet there. Again, we can't walk around on the surface of the planets, but there's a nice little landing area there that is worth a look at. Brian B, there is HOTAS support, yes?
You got here just in time, old boy. Xterra's in sight. Are we ready to rumble?
Hello, Elias. Yes, we
need to think about it a bit.
No, we don't. Go ahead, Elias. I've got your back.
Right on. I'm going straight down, and you take care of the monitor drones. See you later, defibrillator.
Captain. Listen, Captain.
Oh, Evo, the combat on here is very much about the fighter pilot. You're flying your own ship. You're not fighting capital ships. So think of more along the lines of something like Everspace or Rebel Galaxy.
Oodles of pajamas. Oodles.
Oh dear. Let's see how long I last here then. Right, so this one's gonna be probably a bit more tougher on me. We got a few more. Whoa, Mr. Missile. More enemies. Oh, he's done 5 missiles. Actually, they're going down quite easy, aren't they?
Shields below 50%, in case you didn't notice.
Hopefully they're going to hold up long enough now. Yeah, these guys are going down, aren't they? Oh, there's more. We're nearly there, I think. Oh, we're getting a freeze here. I hope it's not going to crash. I was only just saying about how stable the game generally is. Yeah, that's good. We got through that. Not sure what that was about, but it timed with the level up. So we'll have just a reminder, I guess. Let's have a look at the skills in 2 seconds. Is that it? Let's see it. I'm done.
Sir.
What?
Thank you very much, Brian.
You see them
sure.
Splendid. Good luck, old boy.
The guns, Ada, they don't work.
Of course not, Captain. This folly has gone on long enough.
You blocked them? You?
One does not fight Dogons and live, sir.
Boy, a little help here, please.
We have to help Elias, Ada.
Specify the reason, sir.
Boy.
Oh, he's gone.
He's dead. I've never seen somebody I know die before.
The Dogons are hailing us, Captain Bold, sir.
Blast them! They've killed Elias!
So, Adadan, the map
They might do the same to us if
is...
we don't respond, sir.
Well, there's 3 star systems with multiple sectors in there. You can cross them in a few minutes. So they're not absolutely massive, but they do have quite a bit in each map. And
Captain of an unidentified
a number of
vessel.
different things to
This is
interact
your
with.
first and only warning. Do not approach Exterra or we will engage.
Warning, huh? How decent of you. Why didn't you warn Elias then, huh? Why didn't you?
Rear Admiral Wheatbeard was warned. Every time he showed up, he wouldn't listen. He kept coming back, bringing new people with him.
Yeah? You warned them off too? Did it work?
They usually open fire first. We just retaliate. We suspect the main reason Rear Admiral Wheatbeard brought them along was to be killed in his stead.
Right. I mean, easy for you to say. Who's to contradict you now, right?
Would you like to see the treasure?
Don't bother. You won't convince me any...
Amigo, thank you very much.
He
Nice
asked whether
comment.
you would like to see the treasure, sir.
You're gonna show me. Just like that.
There is no
So with things like the interface there that you're talking about, Sendu, and some of the others, the developers have said they're very open to feedback. So things like that will no doubt change over time. Just let developers know what you're thinking.
Okay. Do you think it's okay, Ada?
I do, Captain.
So in terms of RPG elements, Evo, there is a character upgrade system. Skills, which we got 1 skill point to spend. Oh, we've already spent 2. I've done that not on this, but I did that on my free roam save. Strange. But let's put the other one in shields as well. Let's go for that. If it'll let me do it. Let me do it. Upgrade shields. There we go. So you can see that these all have different added abilities. We've got a bit of a skill system going on here, and you get XP as you're fighting ships. Let's head towards this planet. Mark, this game come out today? Oh, there we go. Let's land down here.
Ugh, this stinks.
Hydrogen sulfate.
This is one of the surfaces of the planet that you
Good
can
for
see.
you.
Again,
What
you
do you
can't
wanna
walk around
show
here,
me?
but you do
You are
get to
looking
land
at
here.
it.
This swamp feels like an old folks' home. The stinky one.
In a way it is. These are our parents.
Whose parents?
Exterrans lifted our race from ignorance eons ago. The least we can do is guarantee them peace in their twilight millennia.
You kidding me? These mud rats taught you something?
They were splendid once. We were like savage beasts. They showed us the way. There would be no Dogons without the Exterrans.
Hot damn. So you weren't born all uppity and impossibly smug?
We were far less than we were today. We tried to do the same for the others, with considerably less success, I'm afraid.
You tried what? Lifting some other race from ignorance?
Correct.
Who were those poor bastards? No.
Yes.
Us? You meddled with us?
We tried to help you. Some think we
So
did
yes,
okay.
Mark, in the when you're in a spaceship, you can fly the ship through the while you're in the cockpit.
Oh,
So yes,
you
there's a
do,
first-person
do you?
view in the
You are
spaceships.
still obsessed with fleeting pleasures, preserving your lifestyle and extending your lifespan.
What's wrong with that?
A real mature race would find a young race it could help. A true legacy of a life is in the impact on the others.
Well, I've suddenly got the urge to leave an impact on your face. Are you done with the lecture?
To continue would seem to be counterproductive.
No multiplayer.
Damn right
Mark.
it would, you
No.
blasted meddler. Now let me get this straight. There really is no treasure here?
For us, there is no greater treasure in the universe than these people. But no, there is no treasure in the sense you are thinking of.
And I'm free to go?
Right after you pay for the drones you destroyed.
Right after what?
You destroyed
So it's in the
dozen of
comments
our
there about some of the
drones. We
graphics.
are owed
Completely
reparations.
agreeing with you on the things you're saying there. The developers have said
Whose
that
What's
a lot of
dozen
these
drones to you?
graphics
It's a
are
matter of
being
principle.
improved on
Even
throughout
an
the early
immature
access
race
period,
such as
especially
yours
the character
needs
models.
to be taught responsibility for your actions.
Blasted cheapskates. Okay, how much do I owe you?
2 old pajamas.
2 pajamas? 2?
Per drone, of course.
I don't have that kind of money. I'll never have that kind of money.
In which case, you will have to enter indentured servitude till your debt is paid.
You mean a slave?
Call it whatever you want. You can start here at Xterra. Head over to the bar and see if there's any work to be done.
Would that be all, Master?
You are not allowed to leave Xterra's sector until your debt is paid in full.
Would that be all, Master?
I suggest you hurry. Your lifespan is much shorter than ours. We don't want you weaseling out of your punishment by dying.
Kiragi, yes, definitely the gameplay is more along those sort of lines. So we're going to leave this right here. We're going to head on over to the free roam again. Just play another 10-15 minutes there or so. And I think we'll be coming towards an end of this stream at that point. But yeah, that's the campaign parts. Oh, we've just left the planet. Let's load up the this one, I think. Pajamas as a currency, no idea, Mousy. I'm not sure how that translates to credits. The game's currency is in credits. Right, so let's have a look. Let's get a feel for where we're going to head. We're going to see if we... Oh, no, we couldn't have saved it after our last look at this. This dock here then. Sell the things that we picked up. So I'm in free roam here now. We've left the campaign mode. I'm now in free roam, so we can pretty much do what we want. This is sandbox. Not everything is done, of course. Some of it's still pretty basic. Looking here, we got some components on the ship. These are stuff I've picked up from killing people who have attacked me through attacking pirates and things like that. Components at the moment are just a commodity that we can trade and get credits for, which, as you can see, I've only got 2,000 credits left, so I do need these. We did sell them at the beginning of the stream. Obviously, I didn't actually save it. But later on, these will be used for the crafting system. That's coming further down the line. Let's sell all this stuff. Get ourselves a bit of money. Any valuables? Some valuables. Pirates Owl or Pirates Owl, yeah. Very clever play on words. Aluminium. Oh, no, 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 no. We don't want to buy it. We want to sell it. Right, that's it. Okay. So, for those of you that didn't see it early on, here's the dry dock where we can change the ship a bit. If we change over the hull, we get a blue or orange silhouette here of what the ship would look like. If we exchange the hull, change up the shields. I've upgraded my ship a fair bit already. Change the engine. Again, I spent, about 2 hours on this particular save, so I've got the money and upgraded some of the parts, but just gives you an idea of some of the things we can upgrade. And obviously you can change the weapons here over at the trader as well. We've got a few different weapons we can purchase. The Zeus. The cannon. Okay. We've got different missiles we can buy as well. So I've already purchased some Armageddon missiles. These are quite powerful. Is there an economy system or more in general? Is this a 4X game? It's not a 4X game, Tim. You can buy and sell. I'm not sure to what extent there's an economy though, or working economy in the game. The impression I get is that's not there, at least not yet. Modding support is coming. If you look at just above Mohammed, there's a link there. Stuart's placed a link to the early access roadmap. So if you look at that, you can see all the things that are coming slightly down the line. Right, what we're going to do is head towards the... There's something else I wanted to look at. What was that? Ah, this was it. Just showing you how we can set the different weapons. I've got the Torque 2, which is a slightly improved weapon. We could actually switch that over to be bound to as a second weapon on the Hammerhead if we wanted instead, which is obviously a lot weaker. 3 on the hull damage. I didn't sell the weapon. We can just switch between these. We can do the same with the missiles, set between first and secondary weapons. And these we can just change with the F key for weapons and the G key for missiles. Yet no dates on the roadmap, but the developers early on in chat over here on Twitch or YouTube, I forget which one it was, they said that early access is going to last for around 8 to 10 months. Right, what we're going to do is go to the jump gate over there, get ourselves to a different system, or a different sector first and then to a different system. So yeah, doesn't take too long to fly around here. This is pretty much the breadth of the sector that we're going across here, so it gives you a bit of an idea of how long it takes to travel across the sector. Macho, I'd imagine you can give feedback on the forums. You should be able to find the discussion forums on the Steam page. Cloudy. How far is that waypoint? See another structure over here. Some of these we can dock at, some of them we can't. I don't know if that's because they're just there for visual treats or whether they're there for actual functionality later on. Auto support is already in the game, Macho. Yeah, you can roll. You can yaw. We've got lateral and vertical thrusts as well. Don't think you can capture zones, Evo. I think it's that type of game. We're going to head over to the other sector here. This is all the same star system. And over to Pyros. First person is available all the time, Chris, if you want to play the game that way. Yeah, the backgrounds are pretty nice, especially in some of the areas like this. I want to actually get to the other star system because we're in Gemini at the moment. So these are the T gates. They allow you to jump around these sectors. This is the over there to larger star points, which allow us to travel between star systems. And those wondering about the flight, we've also got an engine cut as well. See if we can show you that as well. We can cut the engine and we'll just keep flying in the direction that I was originally flying in. We keep our momentum and velocity in the same direction. We can turn whichever direction that we want whilst we're maintaining our previous velocity or momentum direction. Get to that other waypoint. That looks pretty big actually, doesn't it, coming into view there? Considering how far away it seems to be. Right, so this will allow us to jump to another star system. I mean, which one we're in now? I think we're in Gemini at the moment. Are we? Are we in Gemini? Yeah, we're in Gemini. So we can go to Sirius. And we do have the solar star system here. The solar system, which I guess is our one. But we can't actually head there for the moment. Grayed out. Let's head to Sirius anyway. And then we'll go dock at a station and we'll try and get a mission, and I think that will be pretty much everything I'm going to look at today. Ashari Outpost. Sounds nice. Let's go there, yeah? Actually, maybe we go to the this one instead. So how's the game? I like the game, Casman. It's still in a pretty raw form. It's still very early on, so there's a lot that needs to be added, but what has been added in seems to work pretty well. Been a lot of comments about the campaign earlier on in chat, most of them which I entirely agree with. I think the campaign is certainly going to be a significant part of the game, but for me, I like the free roam part. That's where I think I'll be spending the bulk of my time. Right, so I think we should be able to dock at this station. We can't dock at all stations yet. Oh, this is a large ship actually. Liberland carrier. Have a bit of a look at that actually. I'll have a look at this carrier. Kind of a homeworld vibe to that ship, isn't there? What do you think? You got a bit of a homeworld vibe, I think. Good dock with it. Ah, we ain't got no it's a shame. Got no barkeep there. We should have gone to the Ashatari outpost to start with, shouldn't we? Well, that's a long way away. It'll take us a few minutes to get over there. So, other screens in the cockpit, functional or decorative. So, in the sense of, can I actually interact directly with the screens? No, I can't. But the two top HUDs, Ada over on the right, Ada's the ship's AI. You'll sometimes get messages appear on that. The one on the left, that does actually work. You can see the energy bar for the weapon depleting. You've got the ship's hull, which is the little health icon, the third bar down. We've got our afterburner thrust, which is the first bar, and our shield, which is the second bar. Back past the jump gate again. There's no head look in the cockpit. No. Bit of a shame. I'd like to see a head look. Maybe it's something that will come later, I don't know. We're getting there. So sometimes you just saw that little cluster of ships we flew by. Those ones were obviously either neutral or friendly towards us. Sometimes you'll fly by hostile ships and they will try and attack you, so you can stop off and fight them if you want. They do drop loot if you do so, which you can then sell. Yet no story here, Robert, because I'm in a free roam. There's no story at all in free roam. You can just go ahead and do whatever you like. we not dock at this one? Or is that because I'm not close enough yet? Please let me dock here. No? Oh wow, we're not docking at any of these. I guess Liberland Colony is then. Oh, and one of these must have a barkeep on it. We want to get a mission. So I suspect that the reason we can't dock at some of these yet is either because of a reputation thing, which we saw the reputation early on here. Journal. Yeah, might be a reputation thing. Or alternatively, it's possibly because they're not all implemented just yet. Yep, Pepsi, I agree. The asking price for this is pretty low at the moment. It will change throughout early access. I think the price is going to increase throughout the early access period. But for now, it does include Starpoint Gemini 2 as well if you purchase it. Is this ever coming to consoles? I've been told it is going to come to Xbox, but it's still uncertain whether or not it'll come to PlayStation. Here we go, we can dock now. Right, go to the bar.
May I suggest you try the Liberland Temptation?
No, we
Ours
just want
is
a
the
mission.
best in the system.
We just want a mission. Got any work?
One of my customers would like some data on a particular anomaly. I believe the payment would be worth the trouble.
Okay. Scan the marked anomaly. So one similar to what we did before. I was kind of hoping for a combat mission here. But, you know, there we go. So as I said earlier, one of the things about this is that there's not a huge amount of missions available at the moment. Generally, the barkeep will give you the same mission over and over. So we can go and complete this mission, head back, and he'll give it to us again. And each barman will have their own mission to give out. But if you look at the roadmap, you'll see there's more side quests coming up later on. So, yep, Evo's definitely gone in a different direction with this to Starpoint Gemini 2. The lack of capital-controlled ships is certainly a big departure, but personally I do like this type of space game. I much prefer the solo play space games where you play the singlest ship. Right, again, this is just an anomaly very easy to scan. Like I said, I have played one in the past where it was attached to the bottom of a huge ship and I had to try and evade getting shot at when I was scanning it. But that's quite easy. Quest complete. Let's just fly along a little bit and have a bit of a look around. So yeah, that's 2 hours. I think that pretty much completes this sponsored live stream. It brings us to an end here. We've pretty much covered everything I wanted to show and everything I want to talk about. It is in early access. It's, in my opinion, in a very, very basic form at the moment. There's some parts that clearly need a lot of work on them yet, especially the ship interiors, not the ship interiors, but the interiors that we are going around with the drone with Ada early on. I think they need a lot of work on them yet. There's still a few things missing, like mining, like a lot of work on scavenging. I think that needs some improvement. We could definitely do with some more side quests as well, but the good news is that this is day one of early access, and as you can see from the roadmap that's been linked and shown on stream, all these things are coming. And LGM do have a reputation. This is their 4th space game. They've got a good reputation. They've worked through early access in the past before. This one they've said is going to be 8 to 10 months, and they do listen to player feedback. They do make adjustments according to what players want. So, you know, I really do think you're in good hands if you want to take a look at this game. But don't go in expecting a fully finished game, because at the moment it's certainly not that. But given time, I'm pretty confident that it will be. It's one of those cases where I wouldn't have done a live stream if I weren't fairly sure that this was heading in a good direction. So, you know, there we go. I think we're wrapping up there. Thanks everyone for coming along. Been a nice stream, nice chatting with everyone, and nice getting the chance to play through on this. And I'd like to thank LGM for the opportunity to do that here. And of course, I've been broadcasting over on the Steam store page as well, which It's a nice change. There we go. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys and girls next time. See you soon. Take care.